The first sound is not an explosion. It is breathing, slow, measured, almost calm. Inside the cockpit of a US military helicopter, every man breathes the same way they were trained to breathe when things stop making sense. The Caribbean Sea below is black, endless, and unnervingly quiet. No ships, no lights, no movement that belongs to civilians. Just one signal. A single fast-moving contact cuts across the radar screen. The pilot leans forward slightly, eyes locked on the display. Confirm visual. The sensor operator adjusts the optics. The camera zooms in, switching to infrared. The blurry shape sharpens into a long, narrow speedboat slicing through the water at an unnatural speed. Its engine glows hot, too hot for a standard civilian craft. Then the camera catches something else. Metal. Mounted weapons. The co-pilot exhales slowly. That's not a smuggler. No one disagrees. The radio crackles, carrying a calm voice from far away. Target confirmed as Venezuelan cartel asset. Weapons visible. No civilian indicators detected. A pause follows. It lasts only seconds, but it feels longer. Rules of engagement are green. You are cleared. The helicopter drops lower. Rotors slice through the night air, a sound swallowed almost instantly by the open sea. The cartel boat continues forward, steady, confident. Then it turns. Sharp. Aggressive. Someone on the boat looks up. And fires. Tracer rounds tear upward, bright orange streaks ripping through the darkness. The helicopter shudders as bullets pass dangerously close to the cockpit. The pilot reacts instantly, banking hard to the left. Taking fire. The gunner doesn't hesitate. He squeezes the trigger. A controlled burst slams into the speedboat's engine block. Sparks erupt. Flames follow. The boat loses control, spinning violently before slamming sideways into a wave. Fire spreads across the water. For half a second, it looks finished. Then the ocean moves. At first, it seems like waves responding to the blast. Then engines roar. One boat emerges from the darkness. Then another. Then another. They come from different directions, rising into view as if the sea itself is releasing them. Fast attack boats. Military grade. Armed to the teeth. The radio explodes with overlapping voices. Multiple hostile contacts. This is coordinated movement. They were waiting for us. The pilot's grip tightens on the controls. His heartbeat stays steady, but his mind races. This wasn't a drug run. This was a trap. Heavy machine gun fire erupts from below. The helicopter climbs sharply, dodging incoming rounds, returning fire. One of the attacking boats explodes into a fireball, fragments raining into the water. Another replaces it immediately. Inside the cockpit, warning alarms begin to scream. Hydraulic pressure dropping. Fuel leak on the left side. The helicopter shudders again as a round slams into the fuselage. We're hit. The pilot forces the aircraft higher, fighting the controls. Stay focused. We're not going down. Minutes earlier, hundreds of miles away, deep inside Venezuelan territory, a man sits in a concrete room lit only by screens. The walls are bare. The air is cool, quiet. His name is never spoken here. Most people know him as El Doctor. On the screens in front of him, green and red indicators move slowly. A glowing dot represents the helicopter. Smaller dots represent the boats. They always think the sky belongs to them, he says calmly. Tonight, they learn otherwise. Back over the sea, the cartel boats spread out, moving with discipline. This is not chaos. This is training. Someone taught these men how to fight. The helicopter fires again, destroying another boat. Fire lights the water, revealing faces twisted with rage and adrenaline. The smell of smoke fills the cockpit. Then a warning. Missile lock. The pilot looks up just in time to see it. A rocket streaks upward from one of the boats. Brace. He dives hard. The missile detonates just behind them, the explosion close enough to shake the helicopter violently. Smoke pours into the cockpit. Instruments flicker. The aircraft lurches. Altitude drops. For a terrifying second, gravity takes control. The helicopter begins to fall. The radio crackles again, this time with urgency. Ghost 1, disengage immediately. Naval support is delayed. The pilot understands exactly what that means. They are on their own. Below, cartel fighters shout and cheer. They believe they are witnessing something historic. They believe they are about to shoot down an American helicopter in open water. El Doctor watches silently as the glowing dot wavers. Fear spreads faster than bullets, he murmurs. But fear is not the only thing moving tonight. Far beyond the horizon, invisible in the darkness, a U.S. Navy destroyer glides through the water. Its lights are off. Its systems are silent. It has been watching the entire time. An encrypted message arrives. Authorization confirmed. No further orders are needed. The destroyer launches drones. Small, fast, almost invisible. They skim the ocean surface, guided by heat signatures and radio emissions. The cartel never sees them coming. The first drone strikes a boat dead center. The explosion is instant, violent, final. The second drone hits another. Then another. Panic erupts below. Boats collide. Fighters jump into burning water. Radio chatter turns into screaming. Above, the helicopter regains just enough control to pull away, trailing smoke like a wounded animal escaping the hunt. The pilot looks back once. The sea is on fire. Back in Venezuela, El Doctor's screens begin to flicker. Then go dark. For the first time, his calm expression cracks. This wasn't supposed to escalate, he whispers. And somewhere over the Caribbean, the sky goes quiet again. The ocean burns for hours after the last explosion. Flames dance on the surface where boats once moved with confidence. Debris floats silently, drifting wherever the current decides to take it. The night swallows the screams, the smoke, the chaos, leaving only wreckage and unanswered questions. High above, the damaged helicopter limps away, rotors struggling, engines screaming in protest. Inside the cockpit, no one speaks. Every man is focused on keeping the aircraft alive for just a few more minutes. The pilot's hands ache from gripping the controls. Sweat runs down his spine despite the cool night air. Altitude stabilizing, the co-pilot says, voice tight but controlled. The warning alarms slowly fade, one by one, replaced by an uneasy quiet. They made it. Barely. Far behind them, the destroyer slips back into darkness, its presence erased as quickly as it appeared. No signals. No trails. No proof. By morning, the Caribbean will look normal again. But nothing will be the same. Thousands of miles away, in a sealed operations room, officials watch the final footage in silence. The screens show fire, water, and then darkness. No one speaks for a long time. Finally, one man breaks the silence. This never happened. No one argues. The report is classified at the highest level. Names are removed. Locations blurred. Timelines adjusted. What remains is a single line stamped in red. Incident contained. But containment is a fragile thing. Because fear travels. Within hours, whispers move through the underworld. Dock workers talk about burning seas. Radio operators mention signals that vanished mid-sentence. A shipment expected to arrive never does. Cartel commanders start asking questions. And El Doctor is forced to answer them. Back in Venezuela, the concrete room feels smaller now. The screens are dark. The silence is no longer calm. It is heavy. El Doctor sits alone, staring at his reflection in the black glass. For the first time in years, his calculations failed. He expected a show of force. A limited response. He did not expect annihilation. A door opens behind him. One of his lieutenants steps inside, nervous. Routes are shutting down, the man says. Boats are refusing to sail. Crews are scared. El Doctor doesn't turn. Fear is temporary. The lieutenant hesitates. Respectfully, this feels different. El Doctor finally stands. Then we remind them who controls these waters. Across the region, strange things begin to happen. A port in Central America closes for maintenance that never ends. A radar station in the Caribbean goes offline without explanation. A customs officer who asks too many questions disappears on his way home. The message is clear. The cartel is still alive. And it is angry. Meanwhile, in Washington, the incident creates ripples no one can publicly acknowledge. Quiet meetings happen behind closed doors. Analysts replay the footage again and again. This wasn't just a cartel, one analyst says. Their tactics were military. Their equipment was advanced. So who trained them? Someone asks. No one answers. Because the answer is dangerous. Days later, the helicopter crew is debriefed separately. They are instructed not to discuss the mission, not with family, not with friends, not with each other. One of the crew members asks the question everyone is thinking. Why were we alone out there? The officer conducting the debrief doesn't look up. You weren't. Weeks pass. The sea stays quiet. Too quiet. Then the first retaliation comes. A cargo ship changes course unexpectedly near a known cartel route. Its crew reports engine trouble. By the time help arrives, the ship is empty. No bodies. No signs of struggle. Just silence. Then another ship disappears. Then another. Insurance companies panic. Shipping lanes reroute. Trade slows. The pressure builds. Behind the scenes, intelligence agencies track movement. Money flows change direction. Weapons appear where they shouldn't. Doctor is rebuilding. And this time, he's not interested in warnings. He wants leverage. One night, a message arrives through an encrypted channel used only in emergencies. It contains coordinates. And a single word. Watch. A satellite image appears on a secure screen. It shows a small island. Remote. Unimportant. Until the feed updates. Men appear. Weapons. Equipment. Hostages. The message is unmistakable. The war has changed. This is no longer about boats and helicopters. This is about control. Inside the Pentagon, tempers flare for the first time since the incident. If we respond openly, this becomes political, one official says. And if we don't, another replies, it becomes permanent. A decision must be made. Quietly. Discreetly. Decisively. Back on the island, Doctor watches the horizon. He knows the Americans will not ignore this. He is counting on it. Every empire reveals itself eventually, he says to no one in particular. What he doesn't know is that the response is already moving. Not from the sea, not from the air, from within. A financial network collapses overnight. Accounts freeze. Assets vanish. Trusted intermediaries disappear. Then the phones stop ringing. One by one, Doctor's allies lose contact with the outside world. Panic spreads faster than loyalty ever did. In the jungle, a convoy never arrives. On the island, a boat meant to resupply never shows up. Doctor checks his screens again. Nothing. For the first time, he feels something unfamiliar. Isolation. The final message arrives without warning. No threats. No demands. Just coordinates. And a time. He understands immediately. This is not a negotiation. This is an ending. As dawn breaks over the Caribbean, a small group of men lands silently on the island. No explosions. No chaos. Just precision. By sunrise, the island is empty. No bodies. No witnesses. Just abandoned equipment and a burned-out radio tower. Back in Washington, a final file is closed. Another stamp hits the page. Case resolved. Officially, nothing happened. Unofficially, everything did. Months later, shipping routes return to normal. Boats move again. Radios chatter. Life resumes. But beneath the surface, something has changed. The cartel world is quieter. More careful. Because they learned a lesson that night on the burning sea. Power doesn't always announce itself. Sometimes it whispers. Sometimes it disappears. And sometimes, it lets you believe you won. Right before it takes everything.